This is Mario once again with MI Microflight, and this is part of a bridge that I designed for a 3D printed track for these little turbo racers. I was inspired by this particular size, which I recently stumbled upon. I mean, these are 3 years old, uh, and it caught my interest lately, and so I decided to start this designing my own track for this because they're a lot of fun. These are very proportional. Hobby grade type proportional control, is compared to these older ones that I had to pull out because I was looking at these originally before I bought them, and I decided to see if I could maybe pull my old stuff and kind of reminisce and kind of see where these were at. But there's nowhere. No comparison with these guys right here. These are the older ones, even though those are also sort of proportional control. That's an infrared control little car with its own controller, and that one has its own little car also, which is, I believe, it's this little guy here. These were all toys that I bought when my son was little, and we're talking about 15, 20 years ago, or maybe more. Some of these are the Hot Wheels, the ones that you would charge. They have an internal capacitor that charges up via this little power box here, power supply. You would charge these, would get the capacitor charged up, and it would just free run, on the Hot Wheels track. So I had these from my son's times. I think we gave all the other stuff away. This is just something that I pulled away from his toys that I wanted to keep, about all the old stuff that we used to have, what was long given away, or I think we trashed it. I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, so this was my collection, and I also have some other 1/43rd scale cars. That's what this little box is for. I just bought these to upgrade the other ones before I ended up buying these. But now that I got these, I'm really locked into this particular size because it makes it a lot more compact, to design a track, and to you don't need a lot of room. You can do this indoors. This track is 6 inches wide, by the way, and all these 3D printed parts I just completed. It took a little while to do this. This is done in 3 sections. That the ramps are two separate ramps, and the bridge is a separate assembly. They're sub assemblies. These are the sides that are printed separate from the road. Same thing here, separate, and even we have the fence, which is those two sections right there, and then everything is assembled with screws here. The rest of the track is comprised of these long straights, connectors such as these that hold banners and posts and lights, and I even have some other connectors that are attached to this earlier section of this track here, and you can see that's got an integral socket, for these posts that you see here for the lights. And these are actually working lights. I don't have the LEDs installed on these, but on this one I did, just for the test purposes. See the wire sticking out, and this is aluminum 1/8 inch outside diameter aluminum tubing that I just bent to create the lights. This is a full track. You can see that in my other video that I did earlier. I have the full layout on CAD of this particular track. And this track fits on a 8x4 sheet of plywood, which I plan on doing maybe this weekend. And it'll be fully completed with straights, curves, and these separate pieces that you see here. These connector blocks that I also have it here. This is an earlier track that I did, but the ramp was too steep, so I ended up bypassing that particular iteration and going with this more lower shallow ramp. So this is a lot better, and it works much better with this particular size here, because as the car comes in, it's got to engage, with the ramp without hitting the front end of the body of the car. So this comes in here, even though these cars have a little bit of a skidding action on this ramp here. So I may need to coat this the surface here with maybe just some kind of a latex spray so that it holds so it provides better grip, for the tires as they're coming up. Here it's got no issue here, and of course going down it's got no issue here. But uh, this is where I'm at right here, and I thought I'd do a video just to show these parts a little more close in detail here. This is kind of a roundabout part that I did, and of course this has additional embellishments such as these little connectors here that can be just connected around this area here to create the roundabout, for curves. So it's a very it's a very intricate track system in some ways, but it's very simplistic in some other ways. Um, and I'm pretty happy with the way this is turning out. It's been a lot of anticipation waiting for the parts to complete, but I I'm actually nearing the end of this project here. There's going to be a lot of work in doing these little lights here with the little wires because all this has to be done individually. I think there's a total of 60 or 70 lights that complete the whole track, and these are spread out as you see them here. This is 5-inch spread from light to light. If I go from the first point of this, from the first socket to the first socket of the second straight, it's 7 inches in distance. So I think that'll give us a little more. It'll minimize the amount of lights here. I don't know how bright this is going to be with all the LEDs, but I'm using some little tiny LEDs, the same one that you see on that light here, which I run at 3 volt. I can also minimize the voltage, just lowering with the potentiometer on the circuit board that I will be designing, so that I lower the intensity of the lights. This banner here is supposed to take a sticker, for maybe some additional artwork and maybe a start finish type thing. I have been thinking of doing an electronic one here because we have, little electronic components that we can do a nice electronic board. I also have a stop and go light that I did. I don't have it here, but I showed that in my other video. It's part of a block like this that connects to the track, so that it provides a more kind of a visual embellishment, to the immersive feel and fun of this track system. So this is where I'm at right here, and I am super amazed and very excited about running these little guys here. With my son and my grandkids, when they get up to that particular area, they're coming up to speed. They're getting older, so eventually I'll be running this with them. God willing, gives me good health, which is something that when we get to a certain age, we have to. We have to strive to eat healthy and remain healthy. So we can do all these fun things, with our family. Because when you're not healthy and you get sick, then that's it. That's where it ends. So hopefully we'll do a lot more of this to come. I have so many projects that I haven't even started to work on them, but I tend to work on multiple projects at the same time. I was doing this at the same time. I was doing those little train tracks that you saw in some other videos. If you haven't seen those, check those out. And there's a lot more things that I can add here to this track. I want to add a set of bleachers, so that I can spread it on the track just to create a little more realism. I won't do little tiny people. I could design little tiny people, but it's just easier and cheaper to buy those little scale people that some companies sell for this particular scale. This is a 1/74 scale. And so, this track can be embellished, with a lot more realism. I can do my own buildings. That's not an issue. I have trees that I can use and just keep adding as time goes by. So hopefully, this will turn out into a much wider picture in terms of the videos as I will be showing as we move on into the future. So once again, this is Mario with MI Microflight. And you're looking at the a bridge of the track that I designed for these micro sizers or turbo racers. Stay tuned for more.